When I never felt that, come on, yeah. Never felt that, come on, yeah. When I never felt that, come on, yeah. You gotta get up.
Tigris and Euphrates River, Mesopotamia, land between the rivers. Now it's just Mesopotamia, but that's political reasons. Now you should know the 6 traits of civilization. We're going to take a look at the things that Sumeria created that did not exist in hunting and gathering societies. First, a formal government. City-states and theocracy, a couple of vocabulary terms you're going to need to understand. Social structure. We're starting to get different classes and stratification, from nobles to commoners to slaves. Take a look at ziggurats. So here's our social structure. Priests and kings on top, wealthy merchants, artisan and farmers, down at the bottom, slaves. Now this wasn't chattel slavery that we had in the United States. It says right there for you, if you can read, working obediently, you could hope to earn their freedom.
Hometown of Uruk in the thought bubble. Uruk was a walled city with an extensive canal system and several monumental temples called ziggurats. The priests of these temples initially had all the power because they were able to communicate directly with the gods, and that was a useful talent because Mesopotamian gods were moody and frankly pretty mean. Like, according to Gilgamesh, they once got mad at us because we were making too much noise while they were trying to sleep, so they decided to destroy all of humanity with a flood. The Tigris and Euphrates are decent as rivers go, but Mesopotamia is no Indus Valley with its on-schedule flooding and easy irrigation. A lot of slave labor was needed to make the Tigris and Euphrates useful for irrigation. They're also difficult to navigate and flood unpredictably and violently. Violent, unpredictable, and difficult to navigate. Oh, Tigris and Euphrates, how you remind me of my college girlfriend. So I mean, given that the region tends to yo-yo between devastating flood and horrible drought, it follows that one would believe that the gods are kind of random and capricious, and that any priests who might be able to lead rituals that placate those gods would be very useful individuals. But about 1,000 years after the first temples, we find in cities like Uruk a rival structure begins to show up. The palace. The responsibility for the well-being and success of the social order was shifting from gods to people, a power shift that will seesaw throughout human history until probably forever, actually. But in another development we'll see again, these kings, who probably started out as military leaders or really rich landowners, took on a quasi-religious role. How? Often by engaging in sacred marriage.
Thanks, John. These are ziggurats. Unlike pyramids, they are solid structures. The temples were built on top. That's why there are 60 minutes in an hour. Basically, we're just pressing into soft clay and then it will harden. All right, we're done with the chapter. And if you remember, there was a FloCab assignment due at the end of the chapter. We're there now. If you're not done, you need to make sure that you get done. All right, we have science to guide our learning. We can go down and talk to Mr. Richards if we have any questions. But these people had no science to guide them. Imagine what would happen for anything, or for one thing, their TV series would be a lot shorter.
This job just doesn't get any easier. Was it you that found the body?
Yeah, I found it by my cave next to my fire first thing this morning.
And can I ask what you do?
I'm a caveman, same as everyone else.
Of course.
Yeah. So I found the body first thing, and I immediately went to fetch the caveman police.
You did the right thing. Leave it to us. We're getting an expert in to determine cause of death.
Right.
And here is cavewoman pathologist Ursula.
Morning, Detective.
Morning, Ursula. This could be an interesting one.
Well, let's have a look. Oh, it looks like this man was killed with some kind of stone implement.
Not again. It's rife. Sometimes I think the whole advance into stone technology has been a bit of a double-edged sword.
Oh, what?
Nothing.
No, what did you...
I've no idea. Time of death?
Well, I think I can narrow it down to, some time before now.
OK, let's start investigating. Did anyone see this man being killed?
No.
Right, I'm all out of ideas. All we know is that at some point before now, someone hit this man to death with a stone, and no one saw who it was.
The perfect crime.
The perfect crime.
At the bottom, you should know all of those items, including the birthplace of civilization. Can you say Mesopotamia?